Hello, this is Howard Teaserking, trying again to upload this college football video. Tried a few times. I'm getting internet problems, so I had to, as I tried to upload it and publish it, it wouldn't save, so I'm trying again. Alrighty. Was talking about Oregon and Arizona last night, showing that the spreads on Oregon right now with all the injuries are way too high. They're laying 21. Like before, they would blow out everybody. Now teams are getting used to them. I don't think they're running the ball as well or as much. And for them to lose to Arizona, there's problems. But the point was that the line's too high, 21 points. And just to understand how the public, influences the spread. It's not to make the game even. They're not saying Oregon's 21 points better than Arizona. They're saying, if we put it at 21, we'll get even money on Oregon and Arizona. Anyway, so that leads me to Michigan and Rutgers. Rutgers is laying 2 to Michigan. I don't get that. I like Rutgers in the 4 there. I honestly know who Michigan can beat besides like Miami of Ohio and Appalachian State. Teams in the lower round, maybe they can beat Southern Miss and SMU. They'd probably have a close game with. So I don't know. I just think they're the key to winning is defense and quarterback and balanced offense. You have to have those. You have to have a good coach. Well, he will do that. But Michigan's got a average defense. They have a terrible quarterback and they have no balance on offense. So until they get a quarterback, you just won't hear from Michigan. They might win 1 or 2 more games the rest of the year, but they're terrible, terribly coached. And for Rutgers to only be laying 2 just shows what the betting line is. It's about making a betting even, not the game even. This should be a 7 to 10 point line, and it's 2. So take Rutgers, get the 4, and I just don't see how Michigan's going to win that game. Next game, we'll stay in the Big Tens. Wisconsin laying 7.5 to Northwestern. Like Wisconsin minus 1.5 there. Wisconsin has a type of team that bothers Northwestern. The history, they've always beaten them. Basically, that power running game is just very hard for Northwestern to stop. And Wisconsin's defense is usually good to handle this spread offense. I don't love the game. I like it just because of the matchup. I think Wisconsin minus 1.5 wins. It could be by 10. I'm getting just curious about Northwestern killing Penn State last week, 29-6. I'm like, what was that? They couldn't beat Cal. They couldn't beat a couple other teams, and all of a sudden they go to Penn State and kill them. So I want to see what's going on with Northwestern before I start betting them or betting against them because I don't know. But this should be a Wisconsin win, laying the 1.5. East Carolina laying 41 to SMU. I like East Carolina here. Obviously, I've been locking against SMU the whole year because they're terrible. But I don't know. This seems like a high number. Baylor can lay 41. Florida State can lay 41. Teams with explosive offenses, A&M. But here you got, East Carolina has a very good quarterback. They put up 70 on North Carolina, so everybody assumes 70. But I just don't like. I think the number's too high for the quality of team East Carolina is. They're a very good team, but they're kind of at the second level. And what I mean by that is you got Alabama and Auburn, and you got Georgia and Ole Miss, and you got Oklahoma and Michigan State. But East Carolina's not in that group, and only that group can really lay 41, and you're going to bet on. And they might they'll probably put up 50, but I don't know that they'll stop SMU from scoring a little bit. I just see them winning by about 30 to 40, maybe 45 points. Maybe they'll put up another 70. I don't know. I mean, SMU's really bad. I just think the number's a little high to get too excited with East Carolina. If it was somewhere in the mid to low 30s and we could lay less than 30, I would definitely be all over it. But I just think the number's a little bit high for this for East Carolina. Let's see, USC and Arizona State. I like USC laying 5, cutting the 11 down to 5. I just watched the Oregon State game last week, and USC is just very dominant on defense, and Their offense is moving. Arizona State's quarterback's out, Taylor Kelly. So without the quarterback, the kid's going to throw turnovers, and I don't think Arizona State's defense is their strong suit at USC. I just think it's too much, and I like USC. You only got to lay 5. Again, if Taylor Kelly's in there, I'm taking 17 all day, but the new quarterback, it always takes time to adjust, and USC will blitz them, and I just see SC -5 as a good play there. Navy and at the Air Force, Navy's laying 3.5. I like Air Force as the home dog here. Navy's, okay, but Air Force beat Boise, which got my attention. I wasn't sure what to expect out of Air Force, and they run the similar offense, so it's going to be familiar. They practice against it, so I see this as a close game. I like the points here. Alabama at Ole Miss. Alabama laying 5, 5.5. The line's been going down. I really like Ole Miss in the 11.5 here. I do not know if Ole Miss will win, but 11.5 is a lot of points. I think that they have the defense, and that's the key, is the defense to shut Alabama down, and then they have enough offense in Bo Wallace to score enough. I see the game being in the 20s, 24-20, 28-24. I think it'll be a close game. I'm not saying Alabama won't win. I think they'll find a way to win. But if Ole Miss beat them by 10, I wouldn't be surprised, because I think this is the best Ole Miss team in a long time. And getting 11.5 at home, I think Ole Miss beats anybody by 11.5, with 11.5 at home. So I just like Ole Miss here getting the 11.5. Texas State against Idaho. Played Texas State last week because I was playing against Tulsa, and I noticed Texas State has a huge offense, good quarterback. They had them 17-3, we were getting 9, but they went to overtime with it. But they won in overtime. But it shouldn't, But they had them the whole game. Texas State was leading. So I just like Texas State. Idaho's terrible on the road. They got to win 17 down to 11. Texas State should win comfortably by 20-something. That's how I view it. Real briefly, I'll give you teams to bet against, and these are lousy teams. Vanderbilt and Wake in conference, Kansas, Massachusetts, Tulsa, Tulane, Southern Miss, Idaho, UNLV, and New Mexico State are like the worst teams and the teams you bet against, and and they just, they're not even competitive. So that's what I'm looking for. But I'm looking for them. Like this week, Mass is playing Miami of Ohio. Well, that's not really the type of team that might beat Mass, but I'm not getting excited over that. UNLV is playing San Jose State again. It's tough because San Jose State's not that good. They're struggling this year, so it's not the type of team I want to take advantage of it with. But I do like the Texas State over Idaho, and East Carolina and SMU I talked about. Let's do one more game here. We'll do the Stanford Notre Dame game. It's a very tough game. I'd probably stay away from it. I like Stanford's defense. Notre Dame, Golston looked kind of shaky against Purdue. The fact that it's at Notre Dame, I would take Notre Dame and the 8.5 just to get over the points. I think it'll be a close game. I wouldn't be surprised if Notre Dame wins. I wouldn't be surprised if Stanford wins. But Stanford only winning by 7 at Washington. I just don't think they're the same as when Harbaugh was there. I think they're a little bit lower. The defensive coordinator went to Vanderbilt. The coach is okay, but I don't see Stanford going in and winning by 20. So therefore, if I don't see that, I take the dog, and the dog getting 8.5. So I like Notre Dame getting 8.5. Not a crazy play, but something there. That's about it. All the other games, the big plays I have on the site, www.teaserking.com, and looking for a huge weekend. Got at least 8 to 10 college plays that are outstanding. I have a huge lock going. It's a college pro lock, and then I have several pro games. This weekend's going to be huge. I would recommend buying the whole package. For $200, you get all the college and the pro and the lock together, and it's such a huge weekend. As the season progresses, I get more and more focused on who the bad team is, who the good team is, and what am I looking for to bet against and everything else. So now I'm getting into the meat of it, and I know, okay, I know Wisconsin, I know East SMU, I've seen East Carolina put up 70 points, I've seen Michigan and Rutgers, where before you don't know, now you've seen them enough. I know Michigan can't win tomorrow. Well, if this was early in the year, I would not really know. I know Gardner's a terrible quarterback, and he was last year. I'm going to probably have the lock of the year will probably be Michigan State. I'll probably take Michigan State depending on the spread and what happens. Michigan State's going to beat them 42-0. So as long as the spread's not 42, I can see making that the lock of the year. I'm waiting for that one because Michigan State will not hold back there. But it's just it's in a couple of weeks. I'll be in Vegas for that for sure. But I just see Michigan. I don't know that they're going to win again. But it's just, it's always what I talk about. You need the coach, you need the quarterback. They don't have either. Their defense is decent, but if you're always turning the ball over, it's not going to help you. So anyway, that's the picks for this week here. The site will have many. If you have a comment like who do you like in the Oklahoma State-Iowa State game or the Ohio State-Maryland game, I'll give you my pick. I can pick every single game. The bigger the trend, the more I can see. You got to look at injuries. I can basically say it. But the more confidence I have in the game, that's when it gets into a strong play and then into a lock. When I look at it and go, there's no way. I mean, like Baylor SMU, I knew Baylor was going to run up the score. They had to win the game. And, that's why I locked it, because I knew they were going to put up a lot of numbers. And I thought, SMU will score, but at the end of the day, I knew Baylor was a high explosive team and a great matchup against a weak defense and a weak offensive team of SMU. So that's what I look for. Anyway, it looks like I'll be able to actually save this one. I'm so happy. Well, have a great weekend. Good luck to everybody. And again, www.teaserking.com. You can ask me questions and certainly whatever you want. And I definitely recommend buying the whole weekend. All right, everybody. Have a great night. Thank you.